Firstly, before I even started talking about, where I come from and how I'm here today, really wanted to say thanks to each and every one of you. I know it's only 3 of us here, but I'm sure all the 100,000 people you've, helped would feel exactly the same or even 100x grateful for all that you've, been doing for us. And I am Vinodhini Duraisamy, and I don't know how many of you know Coimbatore. I come from a very, very, very small town near Coimbatore. You can say maybe like a 3-hour drive with 2 different town buses and a big town bus to get to Coimbatore. That's where I studied most of my undergrad years. And when I knew that I was going to talk today, my only goal was not to get teary-eyed or don't break down. And I already saw the stories of Aniruddha and Anjali, and I couldn't help because today it feels nice to be here. I live and work in San Francisco. I have a good paying job. I've studied my master's. Life looks so good professionally, personally, financially. But it's, never easy to look back on those years and really recount the memories of all that has happened in your life, So it's a bit of, I don't know. I might get emotional. I think I already am, but bear with me. I would not take too long. Like I said, I'm originally from Coimbatore, from a very small family, very small village. My father and mother were weavers, so we would just hand make bed sheets. That's, what their job was. Life was good. We were not struggling for, to put food on the table or anything. We got by just fine. But there was some financial stuff that happened during my 5th grade that just suddenly broke everything at home. I was put in a private school, getting decent education at that time in one of the local schools, and then suddenly I had to go over to a government school where even the medium of instruction used to be English, and then I learned everything in Tamil. But I think even as a 5th grader, you don't really quite understand all of that. You just do school as it is. Got there, studious kid. Teachers were always there to guide me, help me, whatever. I got to this undergrad stage where I had very good marks from high school and got into this beautiful, I think it's top 3 in the state of Tamil Nadu. I got into this good university for electronics for my undergrad. But then marks don't do everything, so you need financial support. We went to apply for the education loan, and the manager, calls us over to the room, and then he was just going over the docs, and he's like, why would I give you another loan? You have so many other outstanding loans whatsoever. And then he just glances at my mark sheet from my high school, and then he says, you are going to study in PSG. And I'm like, yes, I am. And then he broke down, because his own daughter got a seat at PSG, and he was so proud of me for getting, I don't think I understood the magnitude of, I got into PSG and it's such a good university, it's going to change my life. And then he was like, you know what, forget about everything I said, I'm going to grant you the loan, you forget about all your dad's difficulties, struggles whatsoever, you are going to study well and come back to change this, okay? And at that time, I don't think I fully processed all that he said. I just said, yeah, sure, and then moved on. But the loans are not going to cover the entire tuition and fee and whatsoever, right? So I go to the university, I'm still this financial thing, stringing me along. And then FFE happened in a very random, serendipitous way. There were 6 of us living in a dorm room, and one of them found a pamphlet of FFE from their department, and then just brings it to the dorm and says, hey, I found this scholarship, do you all want to apply? And all the 6 of us, enthusiastically are okay, let's go apply. And then all of us just, filled in the application form, wrote an email to the facilitator who would review the application and see if you're eligible for the one. And also the 6 of us, only I was eligible, and then I got into the scholarship program, and it was between the bank loan and the FFE scholarship, I was actually able to financially cover all the tuition and the living expenses and got through just fine. But I think one thing that I really, really want to emphasize is that it's not just about the money. I know money is definitely a big deal. For me, my parents have not even finished 5th grade. So my mom has only studied until 4th standard. My dad has only studied until 5th standard. They've not even gone out of the village that they've lived all their lives. So when I went to PSG, it was like in my head, wow, it's like the dream college that I got into. With FFE, during my 3rd year of undergrad, I got matched up with mentor. Oh my God, I cannot even put to words how helpful, and like, to come from a family of like I literally was the first graduate in my extended family and all of it, right? So to have anybody in the world to guide you, to even like tell me how I should start speaking in English, because that plays a big role in getting a job in India, was a big deal to me. I didn't know that. So like from the 3rd year of undergrad, preparing me to just face the world outside, my mentors played like a huge, huge part. And I think that's also where I learned that if you want something, you approach a kind-hearted person and ask for help. And there are so many good people out in the world to help you. To even like think of that, because when you come from a financially struggling background, you feel so small, you know? You feel so sorry to even take up space. You don't even want to reach out to somebody and, you know, ask for anything. I don't know. So it was, I felt like this whole sorry. I think, yeah, more than anything, you know, the money helped and all of that, but the whole concept of mentorship and people helping people, that was the biggest change of my life. So then, you know, naturally I graduated. I think I was the first in my department to get placed, you know, to get an offer and all of that. I worked at NetApp, and I worked in Bangalore for about 4 years. And the first thing I did was, like all the other scholars who were wanting to help to kind of, you know, come back the circle of giving, NetApp at that time was building its corporate social responsibility program. So I sent out an email to the NetApp CSR person with the Bangalore team in, you know, FFE, and then we connected, and I think NetApp sponsored scholars, and they also mentor so many students every year. It's like, to even think that it's just one person that you helped, but then like in turn, when we go back and like help hundreds of scholars, it's so heartwarming to see. And even, today to even think about all of you helping someone you've not even seen, you know, it's just too far-fetched an idea for me to even think how generous and kind-hearted all of you must be. I don't even know if you all understand how big a difference you've made to all our lives. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you. A big hand.
Wow. That was a great inspirational story, you know. And hi everyone, I'm Rashmi Bhat. Great to see you all here today. Back in India, I come from Bangalore. Back then, I'd done with my 12th grade, and I was about to step into my undergrad. And there was a catch. We were financially very unstable. I had a pretty good rank in my entrance examination. I got into a pretty good institution, but the catch was the financial stability. And one of my friends talked to me about FFE and their goals, and I applied to FFE. FFE was too good to be true. They supported students not only financially, but also academically with workshops and mentorships. And of course, I applied, got in. I was flying high, of course. And then FFE actually gave me that financial stability to pursue my undergrad. And I'm glad. And cut to, there was one of the academic workshops that changed the whole trajectory of my life. It was at Cisco. FFE conducted it. And there, I ended up loving the Cisco, the work culture, the people, the products, everything so much that Cisco became my goal. And voila, I landed an internship at Cisco. And and I continued there as a full-time employee for 3 more years. During that time, I was an FFE donor myself, of course, because I understand the importance. And during those times, I was also featured in the Cisco Operational Excellence story as well. And I saved up enough to pursue my master's, something which I couldn't even dream of before. And here I am pursuing my master's in the US in computer science data analytics. And the FFE magic didn't end there. Previous summer, I interned at Salesforce. FFE magic has worked wonders for me, like wonders. I stand here today empowered because of you guys, the FFE, the founders, the volunteers, the members, and of course the donors. Thank you so much. You guys are magicians. Absolutely. You make a huge difference to so many people like us, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Somedeb. Thank you, organizers, Dr. Goel, Abaji, Minuji, Anilji, for the kind invitation. It's an honor and privilege to be able to share my story here. I come from, similar to other scholars, I come from also a lower socioeconomic background. From a village back in West Bengal state in India. My dad had a small shop where he used to sell bags. My mom was a homemaker. I did my early schooling back in the village itself. I always wanted to do something meaningful for the society. That's my drive to help people probably brought me closer to medicine. I got a rank in state medical entrance exam and was ready to get into med school thanks to the dedicated support of my parents and teachers. However, deep in our mind, we were excited, but deep in our mind, we always knew it was going to be financially challenging, especially with my dad's small business being the bread earner for a family of 4 back then. That's when, through the strong grassroots level reach that FFE has, I got in touch with the well-wisher facilitator in my village itself. After the screening and interviews, we had hope. We knew that there was something that's going to help us. And luckily I got selected for FFE Scholarship for Medical Education. I got a scholarship for 5 years throughout my med school. It helped me concentrate on my study without having to worry about where the money is going to come from. More importantly, the fact that they evaluated us before renewal every year actually helped me, drove me to do better in my semester exam every time I would take the exam. My drive for excellence got me into the internal medicine residency back in India, and then I got interested in cancer medicine and to be at the forefront of drug development for patients with cancer. I got to United States after 6 more years of rigorous training. Finally, I'm proud to call myself a leukemia specialist at Vanderbilt University in Nashville, Tennessee. It's been quite a journey, but looking back from where I was and where I am now, FFE has to be the most important contributor to my success. It's after my parents, if anything, that really helped me. It's been FFE, and motivated by the circle of giving. Last year, I adopted a scholar myself who is pursuing medicine belongs from the same state, in fact, very close to my village back in India. So I've been proud and fortunate and privileged to be able to part of this great organization and its initiatives, both as a scholar and a donor. And it's been a great journey. So I would sincerely request all of you present here and elsewhere who is watching this to consider helping these young minds pursue their dreams, joining the noble cause that FFE has to enable students back in India to get established and help others in turn, and in turn get a satisfying experience like I was lucky to have. I would hope that you would consider helping a scholar just like myself. Thank you so much.
All right.